Autumn is in the air again. Autumn means hot chocolate, fall colors, ghost stories, and cozy sweaters. Autumn is also the season of month-long challenges for writers and artists. The most well-known challenges are Inktober for artists in October and NaNoWriMo for writers in November, with Preptober for planning to write a 50,000-word novel in a single month. It's been a long time since I participated in one of these challenges, and this is the first of many years I'm seriously considering joining in again. This year, I'm hoping to dedicate more time to art and writing, and these challenges could be the push to draw and write daily that I've been looking for. The last time I fully participated in Inktober was 2019. I did a series of drawings following the adventures of a line art cat named Inga. I followed a combination of my own prompts, along with those from other artists, and the official Inktober prompt list. The way I managed this was to draw simple ink drawings rather than trying to create an entire work for each prompt. Together, the drawings told a story, but separately, they were just 15-minute doodles. My art style has changed a lot since then, and I haven't drawn with ink in a long time, but I still find it just as enjoyable as before. This year, Inktober's prompt list is themed. Some artists have commented that they preferred the previous year's random list, and that the theme takes away room for creativity. I don't see it this way. There are so many ways to interpret a single word prompt, and I don't feel that a theme is necessarily limiting. However, I can see their side. Since the majority of artists using the official prompt list will most likely have similar word associations to these prompts, there is a higher likelihood of the concepts being similar than in previous years. I've also never been one to rigidly stick with the prompt list. The concept of Inktober, drawing something new to improve every day, is more important to me than the prompt, and I usually prefer to come up with my own prompts. The theme this year is also one I like, so perhaps I'm a bit biased. I'd love to hear other perspectives on whether or not you think a theme is more limiting than a random prompt list. In this video, I'm making 3 quick pencil and ink sketches inspired by Inktober's official prompt list. I decided not to go in order. Instead, I chose 3 of the prompts that stood out to me the most. While I sketch these, let's chat about another month-long challenge, NaNoWriMo. I've never participated in NaNoWriMo myself, but I've listened to other writers talk about it, and I've watched their vlogs. This challenge has intrigued me since I learned of it. Writing a 50,000-word draft from start to finish in a single month would be incredible. Although I can write quickly, and I usually will write 1,000 to 2,000 words in a writing session, I also spend months on a first draft before calling it complete, and there are usually several days between my writing sessions, simply due to lack of time. I would love to participate in this challenge or another month-long writing challenge this year, time permitting. November and December are the busiest months of the year, with the holidays and family celebrations, and it's hard to find time to dedicate to projects. Aside from time, there's another factor deterring me from taking part in this challenge. I have nearly 8 books in progress at the moment, and part of NaNoWriMo is to start a brand new draft from scratch and finish it within the month. Starting a brand new draft right now, while I have so many unfinished projects, seems like too much of a distraction, especially as I'm starting to be able to bring my projects to completion. So I'm thinking that I would want to do a modified version. I'm currently working on a contemporary fiction project that I'm planning to make around 50 to 70,000 words, and I have about 7,000 words written. Even though I'm still only in the very beginning stages of this project, a month-long challenge like this seems like the perfect opportunity to bring this first draft to completion and get started on the next stage. Even if I don't have enough time to officially participate with a start-to-finish first draft, I'm definitely planning to set aside some time this November to write as much as I can in this project. Now let's get back to discussing the drawings. The first prompt I chose from the Inktober prompt list was boots. I chose this prompt because it sounded like a fun thing to draw, and also because it seems like a good, simple warm-up to get ready for the other sketches, which I anticipate to be a bit harder. When I draw with ink, I usually sketch with pencil first. Part of the reason for this is that I don't like to have to try to start over or find some way to incorporate a mistake into the finished drawing. And I find it a lot easier to start my drawing with pencil instead. I've also found that when I draw with pencil before inking, I tend to draw a lot of details, even though I end up erasing them later and after the fact. Part of this is just because I'm more used to drawing with only pencils, and so shading is a must. However, I also like to do this because it gives me a good idea of what the finished drawing will look like once I've gone back with pen and added the shading. Now on to the next sketch. The second prompt that I chose to draw was prompt number 5, Binoculars. While all of the prompts seem to fit together on this year's list because of the theme, I felt like binoculars fit in really well with boots. The theme of Inktober this year seems to be about adventure, or hiking. And so I chose to pick a hiking theme, and I think binoculars would be a good thing to bring along with you on a hike, either for bird watching or maybe for stargazing at night. Another reason I chose to draw binoculars next is because they seemed like a bit of a challenge. Drawing binoculars from this angle was a little bit difficult, and so I used cylinders to start out and erased my sketches initially, that way the ink lines would look nicer in the end. It was a lot of fun to shade the lenses as well. Although I'm not 100% pleased with the way these binoculars are turning out at this point, I think the final product was just fine, especially since I'm trying to push myself to draw each of these sketches in 10 to 15 minutes. Now onto the final drawing. This sketch was initially inspired by the prompt hike, and I think it does still fit the prompt even though I didn't follow my original plan. Originally, I had planned to make the drawing much bigger, and I would have it take up more of the page and not have a border. While starting to sketch this out though, I realized that not having a border could pose a problem, and would also cause me to have to fade out my edges or have strange harsh lines around my other sketches. So I decided to draw a border and turn it into a Polaroid. My concept for this drawing actually changed a lot during the sketching process. Originally, I planned to include a hiker on the path, but eventually I decided against it. I wanted to just draw the mountain path from the point of view of the hiker instead. Even while I was inking, I changed a lot of my original concept. This sketch is the most detailed, and it also took me the most time. While I was able to stay within my 15-minute limit on the other two sketches, this one took me a little over 20 minutes. Part of the reason it took so long is because I made so many changes during the process and took some time to think about what I would do next. This also made this sketch my favorite of the day. I really love the process of changing my plans mid-drawing and not feeling pressured to stick with a reference. So that's the end of my doodle and chat for today. Let me know your thoughts on today's topics and if you'll be participating in Inktober, NaNoWriMo, or a different creativity challenge this year. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!